Hello, it's Neil Morby here. The purpose of this video is to give you a bit of guidance on our work and mindfulness and what you can do during this situation of the virus spreading and how you can help deal with the virus of the mind spreading, the panic, the confusion. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just simple, pure relaxation, taking breaths, movement, but I'm also going to talk about our techniques for dealing with stuck thoughts. Some of these techniques are really challenging, and remember, you want to use a diverse range of techniques. So if you're finding it super stressed, having panic attacks, sit down on the floor, take some breaths, get some nice warm tea, and take care of yourself. This is the main thing is in all our classes is self-care. There's a time and a place for dealing with the mind and the thoughts and facing the truths. And there's a time and a place for having a nice warm bath or going for a walk outside. So this is one of the first things, is to tune in to what is my capacity right now. Can I just pause? And if the mind is going completely bonkers, it may be that it's kind of needing some time before you start to look at it. So take some time and do something that's restorative for your body. This is an iterative process, which means it's something you do repeatedly and you get slightly less crap at each time. Doesn't mean you're ever going to be perfect at it. Doesn't mean you're never going to experience no anxiety, because there's always new stresses coming in from the outside. But we can get better about reducing the amount of time that we hold on to stress, hold on to the mental thoughts, and come back to reality. The more you practice, the smaller that space will be, but then at times, something stressful hits, and then it's time to practice again. As you practice more, you'll find new challenges. So it's a never-ending, enjoyable game, or sometimes not so enjoyable. Let's take a breath. So long out breath. So this is when you can start to make a list of the things that really nourish you. Speak to some friends. Ask them what they're doing. Some things I know I love doing: singing. Singing is great for the mind, for the body. It's fantastic for bringing together harmony inside you, but also with other people. Playing musical instruments. I love writing. I love reading. Stay off Facebook and the news for long periods. Yeah, you can still check them once or twice a day, but they're really going to exacerbate the mind virus. Cups of tea, juices, go out for long walks. Remember, you can always bring in a meditation practice during this time, because you're going to have more time on your hands. It's a perfect time to practice meditation. Even bring mindfulness to some of the activities that the NHS say they want you to do. So wash your hands and really enjoy the hot soapy water. Have a nice long bath, nice long showers. This is a great time to luxuriate in the creature comforts of your home. Tidy your home, enjoy that process. It's a great time to spring clean the house. And I've got a million suggestions for relaxation, but this is not the video for that. Now I'm going to talk more about when we get stuck and the techniques that we use to move stuck thoughts into peaceful action. This whole process can take anywhere between 1 minute and 20 minutes. It depends on how much you practice, as with all these things. I would usually say give yourself around 10 minutes. Sit down with a pad and paper, turn off the phone undistracted for these 10 minutes, and give yourself something refreshing to go with it. If you're locked into worry and you can't seem to escape, I want you to stop for a moment and just start to notice what's happening inside your mind, and write your thoughts down. Bullet points are best. If you can write the most fearful thoughts down first, that's going to help you a lot to get literal perspective from your thoughts. Things like, bullet point number 1, I am afraid that I'm going to run out of money. I'm afraid that my family's going to get sick and I'm going to be left alone. I should get something done in this time. I should be productive. So fears and advice that your mind is throwing at you. So these are the stories of the mind, and actually it's an exposure therapy to start to write them down, look at them, read them back over and over again, and start to feel, ooh, nausea, panic, it rises. This is a spiritual practice right here. You're noticing this, and then if it's too much, go and do something else. Come back, start again. Notice, stimulate all those sensations. Let it go back, start again. Obviously do this within your capacity. So if you're noticing you're in a fragile place, maybe pause on that, do it for a very brief amount of time. If you've got a larger capacity, spend a bit longer. Somewhere between 1 and 5 minutes on this area. This is what we're doing here. Is the first step really, is raising our awareness of what's going on in the mind. The more we suppress or try and distract ourselves in the mind, the more it just shouts louder and louder and louder and confuses and panics us. So once we've got 2 or 3 really pithy understandings of the stories of the mind, the narrative of our emotions, they'll probably be in the words of needs and shoulds, or I am, or this is terrible, labels, judgments. Take this through to the next step, which is when we start to accept the truth, the facts, and we start to make peace with reality. First of all, let's name some facts about the situation. So the fact is, there's a virus, and you can actually go onto the government website and see how many people have been tested and how many people have been designated as affected and how many people have died. These are facts. You'll probably be pleasantly surprised by those figures. I highly advise the government website, not news, where they try and create frightening headlines. Go to facts about your specific thought worries. So the truth is, my family's not sick. You might also see the truth as like, who's in my family? Note down who they are. So once you've got some facts about your situation, you'll start to feel a little bit better very quickly, because when we're dealing with facts, they're much more manageable. But there's still the threat, there's still this potential fact. So it's also really good to accept that there is something that might happen and that you'll handle that. So one of the big ones I've written down here is I'll be left alone without any family or money. That might happen. And that'll be manageable. And might be even okay. It's okay that that might happen. Now we're saying that so that we can feel an acceptance of possibility of reality. We're willing to experience something as opposed to constantly trying to push it away, which is where the suffering really is. What might be okay about it? Because obviously there's resistance to that. So the question then is to ask, why is it okay? Why might it actually even be a positive thing? What might be positive about that? Obviously, it's going to be very difficult if I'm left on my own and no money. But then when I start to really think about it, I think, well, there's an opportunity there to meet new people. There's an opportunity to build and learn empathy for other people going through this situation. It's going to be a huge challenge, and I will be facing that and learning from that, and I'll come out the other side a stronger person. The more I can go into and delve into that, the more I can start to accept it's okay that this might happen. That's not to say I wish it to happen, but it starts to actually calm my body when I go through how I could handle that happening. By the way, one of the big facts that we often miss in when we're writing down these facts is how you feel. How you feel now is a fact. I feel really scared. That's okay. Why is it okay to feel scared? The more you notice, the more you can be okay with feeling scared, the less you realize it's just a sensation, it's temporary, it comes, it goes. It's okay to feel scared right now. It's okay to not be perfect all the time. It's okay to make mistakes sometimes. These things are temporary states. And when we accept them, we accept that temporary nature. This too shall pass. Spend a bit of time doing that. This is very important to keep writing down. And at this point, it might be also wise to start to open up to other people. We know that the prefrontal cortex shuts down, so opening up to other people can be really helpful. And this is the part of the technique where we get people to accept, but also to start to analyze and open up so they can change their perspectives. and start to own their personal power. Our personal power is lost when we're blaming or we're trapped in anxiety. It might happen, I couldn't handle it, or they should change. But when we start to go, okay, I would like and I could, then we start to be able to see we have power. For example, in this, I'm fearing I might be left alone, I might lose my family. I would like to grow my family and friends. I would like to grow my support networks. I could grow my family and friends. I could grow my support networks. How could I do that? Now I'm really starting to move from opinions to options. How could I do that? I could call my mum. I could call my gran. I could call my friends. I could make a list, write it down. In fact, if you start making a list of those things, you can scratch off the difficult ones later, or the ones that aren't really actually possible right now. But then you'll start to get to some things that you actually can do. And that's the important thing, to start to move towards peaceful action, which is the final step of most of our techniques. Final step is really to not be attached to the outcome, but to focus on what can I do, what's my process as I take one little tiny step towards where I would like to be. And this where I would like is much more important and much more empowering than I need it, or I can't do it, or it should be like this. It's much more empowering to say, this is what I would like, and this is one thing I can do to take one step towards what I would like. And it's going to make it more likely, not necessarily guaranteed. First of all, start with your body. Yeah, you feel stuff in your body. Notice then the mind. What's the mind saying? Bring your attention to that and write it down. Let the mind speak. Once you've got that down on paper, some clear, succinct thoughts, 3 or 4 fearful or anxious or angry thoughts, first by accepting the facts of reality. So the facts are that might happen, and that's okay if that happens, because why? Why is it okay? Why would you be able to handle it? Once you feel the acceptance, it's a process, so it's feeling it's more important than just saying the words. Start to then move towards how you could own your personal power, open up to other perspectives and change the story. So changing the story from should or need or any labels to I would like and I could. I would like this, I could do this. Try and make it, even the language, you can just make the language directly over to I should have done this, I could now do this. Make a plan with very small steps, very solid, doable steps. Once you start doing something, you'll feel a lot better. It can be really small. If you're locked into a chaos, you just start putting things in order. And even if it's just one tiny thing, my bedroom today is in chaos, and I was just thinking, oh, it's such a mess. Well, when you go through the stop technique, you quite simply see the truth is there's just a few things out of place. I could now move something back into place. And so the plan is I'll just do one thing for 5 minutes and notice how that feels so much better. Okay, good luck with that. Remember to breathe, remember to move, remember to get some fresh air. That is going to serve you fantastically. Peace and love, my friends.